Here are the odds. OKC at 1.
Huge
Kevin
favorites.
Durant and the Rockets at 2. Cavs at 3. And the Knicks at, they're tied for third with the Knicks. And then the Wolves at 5. Skinny Luka at 6.
Crazy,
right?
huge favorites.
Huge
man.
favorites.
Yeah.
Are you ready to start talking about a dynasty?
Well, look, let's be honest. 3 of the last 4 champions have looked like, they're about to run off a bunch, right? 2021, it was Milwaukee with Giannis at the height of his powers, right? And, you had Middleton and guys like that. Then 2023, you had Denver with Jokic. Murray looks great. Gordon, and then last year, Boston. And this year, you said earlier, the team we thought it was going to win. I think, I don't remember who was exactly, I feel like people felt Boston was going to win the championship, And Boston was young. And the fourth team that wasn't like, they're about to run off something, was a dynasty, which was Golden State.
And the
they
team
were just finishing one up.
Before on the front end, while you didn't think a bunch, that 2020 Lakers team was the favorite the day LeBron got hurt the next year. You know what I mean? They were like 20. They started like 27-4. Like they, you know what I mean? They had a great record, and so people thought they could certainly go back to back. Just not a dynasty because of the age of the team.
So you don't know what will happen. Obviously, there's some big challengers, and Kevin Durant going to Houston in the West. But here's the thing, and I was gonna say no team has been set up better. But Boston was set up really well. I mean, Tatum and Brown both in their prime, Porzingis,
everyone
all
under
them
contract.
under 30 other than, Horford is older than Drew, but still they had a bunch of young players, a great young coach. But here's the thing about OKC that could lead to them being a dynasty. Everybody, and I mean everybody, including the MVP, should improve. Is going to improve. Shea is going to get better from 3. Like this year, he shot 35%, I believe, which was his best, career best. Like he's going to, he shot more threes. He shot better from 3. He's going to probably become a really good 3-point shooter. And if you add that to the mid-range, the drawing fouls, like he's going to be unstoppable. Jalen Williams just completed his 3rd year. Chet, who had the best plus minus of the series, has not even played, forget 2 full regular seasons. He hasn't even played a year and a half of a regular season, total games. Yeah. So, and then Cason Wallace was a lottery pick. I mean, he was a lottery pick. And then the guys, Dort and Caruso, undrafted, Hartenstein, Wiggins, these guys are 2nd-round picks. What that tells me is that even though they're going to have to lose some of the ancillary parts, but Presti knows how to add.
And they have
They found 2 undrafted guys. They found guys in the 2nd round or traded for guys that had been drafted in the 2nd round. And like you said, they have the assets. So they're going to keep their big 3, and then they will add the right pieces around them. So they have a great shot. I'm not going to guarantee it because – like I said, we've said that about teams before, but they are in great position to win several more championships.
All right, so let me add to Brew's point because I think it's good information, and then I'll say what I actually think. Like the other point is, all the other champions except for Boston had fired their guns, so to speak, on using their assets. The Lakers traded away their future flexibility for Anthony Davis, and their best player was 35 when they won the title. Right. The Bucks traded away their future flexibility for Drew Holiday. The Warriors were, like you said, that was the end of a dynasty right in the beginning. The Nuggets traded away not all, but some of the future flexibility for Aaron Gordon. You know what I mean? And they had probably missed out on some of their run because of the injuries to Jamal Murray. The team that hadn't traded away its future was Boston. And Boston was primed to have this position.
Everything.
Exactly. And then Jason Tatum got hurt, you know what I mean? And maybe they were going to lose that series
And let's
anyway.
I think they were going to lose that series.
I do
anyway,
too.
So I'm not going to blame it on the injury.
Correct, but
it's also a little bit of like Porzingis gets a mysterious illness that no one knows.
Well, so that's
just the weird things.
So that's why. So I listened to Tim McMahon on Wendy's pod this morning. Great pod, Hoop Collective, and McMahon said to Shumpert, he was like, if I set their over-under on championships at 2.5, like not more total, 2.5, what would you take? And Shump said under, and McMahon was floored. McMahon was like, oh, man, I thought I was being conservative there. To which I'll say the point that I've been saying for the last month. Every team that wins the championship, it feels like they're going to win all the championships. Yeah. And the last 6, not only have they not won the championship, we can show it to you, none of them have come close again. The only team I think of that list to make another conference finals was the Lakers. All of them followed up their championship by losing in round 1 or round 2. And they are all, for different reasons, in various stages of, not disarray, but none of them, you know what I mean? Like the Lakers might be the best positioned of those teams just because they made the Luka trade. But it's not like that team is still around. The Celtics dealing with injury, all that stuff. So I think the other piece of it, KW, is this. If they are going to be a dynasty, that means at the very least they win the West a bunch. Not just the championship, but the West. So this is the thing you were doing with the Chiefs, I think, at some point. Like, who's not going to make Super Bowls?
Yep.
So in the West, over the next 5 years, you have Houston, you have San Antonio, you have the end of Joker's prime, you have Luka's run with the Lakers, you have whatever Minnesota does. Those are five teams, and someone else will pop up. We're saying that one of them wins the conference once? Like, for, would 2 of them maybe, and the Thunder win the championship every other year? It's just so hard. So I would expect them right now to probably win one more title. But a dynasty is, it's so hard, and it's getting harder and harder and harder as the league is getting more and more competitive.
I would say what's more, if they were, let's say, a dynasty, because there are different types. There are, the teams that three-peat. There are the teams that win, 4 and 7 years, whatever. I would think they might be, if they become like a dynasty, more like the Duncan Spurs.
Which Presti was a part of.
Which never repeated.
No.
But won 5 in 15 years. So
and
I
4
could see
in
more
9
like
years.
that than running off a three-peat.
Right.
Just based off the Celtics, where the Celtics had a great record 2 years ago. We thought they were like, this team is the best. And look at the point differential. Yeah. This year, all of the counting stats kind of went down, including wins. All went down. Guys were in and out of the lineups. Part of that was maybe a little bit of an emotional letdown. We're almost in July.
Yes.
They just played Game 7. So much of their success is based on hardcore defense that, like you said, takes that for 82 games. Are you worried about that being zapped a little bit from
I think it's human nature. I'd be surprised if they won 68 games next year.
Yeah.
Because human nature is to have a little letdown. These guys are all going to get more love than they ever had as professionals.
Commercials.
They're going to be more. We all seen the commercials. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
They're all wearing the same outfit.
Yeah. But there's going to be more of those. They're going to get more praise. Jalen is becoming a superstar maybe, or in that discussion. And that's what, look, Bird and Magic had each other. They pushed each other. Like, they kept each other striving to win. Jordan was coming after them. So he's like, man, I'm trying to win, every year. He was comparing himself to Magic, who had 5. LeBron was trying to catch Jordan.
And
like
LeBron,
I got to be the GOAT. I got to beat Jordan.
Changed. LeBron, LeBron was able to keep that edge, but then he moved. You know what I mean? LeBron got the reset of the 4 years in Miami when everyone seemed burnt out but him.
Right.
Goes
And
Cleveland.
I think he had that, but he's always got that carrot of Jordan out there. Just like Mahomes is always going to have Brady, that carrot of 7 championships out there. So I think that matters too. And then even Golden State, they lost, then they got KD, then they, want to win it without him. So you need something else to drive you too.
I have one more. Go ahead.
No, you go.
This is just about, I'm king of vibes. Yeah. Did the way that they celebrated after the championship and the way they talked about each other, I thought it was very unique.
Yeah.
I
Weird
thought it was
very unique team.
I thought, but like, think about Tatum was doing his Garnett impression. Giannis had to have emotionally to himself, and he came back out. Shea was like another day at the office.
It seemed like they truly felt that this was a fait accompli.
Yes.
Like that they were not brash.
No.
But they were as confident that they were ultimately going to win this championship as any team that's never won a championship as I've ever seen. You know what I like?
I think they had a job's not done attitude after the
job was done.
Well, that should help them.
Yes.
But they're a unique team. Their personalities.
They really like each other, too.
The last, and I'm not trying to put a damper on any of this, but I do want to pump the brakes on it to a degree because I think the other thing people underestimate is what a 105-game season means. And you know what I mean? What as you put, it's late June, and you were just playing the hardest parts of your season when the teams that are competing with you were just spent the last month unwinding.
Yeah.
And
back from vacation.
Right. And so was part of what's happened they were incredibly healthy, which is obviously very important. It's harder to be healthy the next year.
Although, remember, Chet missed most of the season.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, in the playoff run, they were incredible. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.